China.
Oh my god. Do not try to understand Chinese social media. They're in a whole other meme sphere.
You see the money?
I'm so excited to watch this video because I just recently visited China for the very first time. I'm going to be releasing a vlog about that experience very soon on this channel. So I'm going to be able to give a whole lot of takes about what I experienced here. Most inspirational Kim quote. Give me the money. Show me the money.
Nuclear neighbors. Both have iconic, infamous, supreme leaders. Both of them making headlines recently. Both have special economic zones. Both have massive influence over the world. Well, maybe to different extents. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put my skyrocketing social credit score on the line by once and for all answering the question on everyone's minds right now. China or North Korea.
That's going to be a tough one. I don't know if we're ready for this. I'm certainly not. This video is by Geopol. Definitely go check him out. I feel like he's one of the best editors in the geography community.
First category up is beer.
Who's got better beer? I mean, I think I know.
Yeah, I'm about to blow your mind, dude. This is Taedong-gang, North Korea's national lager. Yep,
let's go.
Apparently developed.
I kid you not, all this footage is DPR, whatever, North Korea propaganda material for North Korea's state-owned beer, which I found. It's not surprising because South Korea has their own, like, you know, well, I don't know about beer, but obviously they have soju. Honestly, anything that South Korea does, North Korea is just going to try to do better. And to be fair, vice versa as well.
Taedong-gang, North Korea's national lager.
It can't be that good.
Apparently developed such a taste for European beer during his time growing up in Switzerland.
How you feeling, Jeff?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You drunk?
Kind of.
That's Kim Jong-un between the ages of 14. Is that really him? I mean, I guess so.
Quite.
Okay.
In the year 2000, he convinced his dad to cash in hand buy the brewery Ushers from Wiltshire, England.
That's
crazy. Where Glastonbury and Stonehenge is. Most kids beg their dads to buy them toys, magazines. Maybe you're even sneakily pleading to get a sip of your dad's beer at the Indian restaurant. I know I was. But no, this fat, drunk motherfucker Kim Jong-un asked and received an entire brewery. Everything from the tiles on the walls to the secret family recipe was handed over to North Korean delegates.
I mean, are we surprised? Don't forget that also Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un's father, did take him to Disney World. They faked it somehow. They had like fake... What kind of passports was it? Brazilian passports? I mean, it's really just reminding me, man, Kim Jong-un, this kid was spoiled. And now he's leading North Korea, obviously, because his dad's not around, but...
On the walls to the secret family recipe was handed over to North Korean delegates, who, according to Usher's old head brewer, were nice blokes. It was all shipped to Pyongyang, and since then, the DPRK have replicated the formula, creating over 10 major breweries in the country, and providing North Koreans with a steady stream of European-style golden nectar.
Honestly, I mean, it's got to be a pretty good business. There's probably North Koreans that absolutely love beer. I bet you this ended up making the country a pretty good amount of money. They got to be making enough money to be building all those tanks and nukes.
Taedong-gang, which is described as having a fragrant, smooth, soft taste. Honestly, it sounds and looks fucking great. However, the real question is,
I love that they have this outfit going on too. This is crazy footage.
Can I betray Tsingtao? Can I betray God's elixir itself? Crispy, bitter, bubbling with positive social credit.
I tried a little bit of this beer in China myself. I'm not a big beer guy. I actually was trying a lot of the Chinese alcohol. I prefer more of like the hard stuff. But yeah, this wasn't bad.
I don't know if I can. I mean,
I'm not a beer guy, so I don't even really know what to compare it to. I'm not like an IPA, I don't drink any beer, really. Give me just vodka. I'm just more of a vodka person, I'll be honest. So any hard liquor like that.
Look at this video of me, No Fuckers, and Gatsu, 3 6-foot YouTubers, by the way. Taste testing this heavenly beverage.
Can't say the same for myself. I could, yeah.
In Portugal, my favorite region of China.
My favorite region, Portugal, dueling party. Both want more Chinese investments. Funny because China already has a very mini Portugal right next to them, Macau. I also visited that place. Formerly a Portuguese colony. Now it's literally called the Las Vegas of China. To be fair to Portugal, this is a lot of places that want more Chinese investment.
Whoa.
That's fine.
Like music to my ears.
So, by the way,
we're gonna hear that a lot. Like
look,
the bottle looks
look at that. Look at that epic bot. Yeah, the Chinese like.
Oh, it's not focusing.
It's not beautiful design.
You're the OG CCP show.
Literally,
I really like this.
Very chuggable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
it's so much lighter.
It's like, and I prefer lighter stuff, but again, I'm not a beer guy.
Yeah.
Lager. I'm not gonna lie. First beer of the night is always gonna be the best.
Yeah, the
beer
best.
Of the night.
Maybe, yeah.
But this is like.
That's a lot of beer to try. I feel like you want to not. It's probably one of those. Is it like wine? You can't like spit out beer, but if it's like a wine tasting thing, you take a sip and spit it back out so you don't. Because that's a lot. But I think the plan is to just get destroyed.
Come on, man.
No, yeah.
This is S.
Yeah. I'd say this is a good A or S. Yeah.
I've always been Tsingtao Pill.
Yeah.
Nice.
By the way, that whole video is on Roman's channel, and I want to let you guys know that Andy Milanakis, the man who has a song with Chief Keef, commented on it, agreeing with me. So if that is not an endorsement, I don't know what
That's
is.
cool.
Sosa, put me in the mansion, bro, please. Look, man, the first thing I did when I landed in China earlier this year was drink a Tsingtao, and honestly, I want it to be the last thing I do in my life ever as well, because going out with a Tsingtao in my hand is truly the best possible way I can imagine transitioning to the afterlife.
So again, when I release my own experience in China in a vlog that will come out maybe in like a week or two, is everything was really good. Like the drinks and the food was like, whoa, what the hell is this? I don't know where that came from. Like, I'm talking the desserts, the noodles I was eating, just all the cuisine. It was just like, why is this so tasty? Now, to be fair, I feel that way about pretty much any country outside of the US and Canada. The cuisine is always a lot better. Even in Mexico, everything tastes so much more fresh. But China, I don't think I've ever been to a place where I'm just like, holy crap. Everything was... I don't know what it was. It was just everything tasted magnificently.
So China's going to be taking the W with this one, I can't lie. That being said, if anyone knows any way I can get my hands on a Taedong gang, I don't care how many bands I got to drop. I don't care how many politicians I got to make disappear by slapping them in the face when there's nerve agent on my hands for what I believe is a YouTube prank. Yes.
I don't know how many the prank assassins... Oh, that's right. I do remember that. Maybe the best bet would be go to that city, one of the cities that's closest to the North Korean border, and then you just kind of pray. You can enter. I know as an American we cannot go to North Korea, but you can enter from that side, from the Chinese side, into North Korea. But you need a visa, obviously. Maybe someone will just take a beer over there to China. One of the North Koreans that are visiting.
This is actually one of the methods North Korea uses to carry out their political assassinations. They recruit random innocent people from other countries via email, tell them they're on a YouTube prank show, put poison on their hands, and get them to go slap the ops of the North Korean state at locations such as Malaysian airports. Absolutely insane, right?
That is literally how they already murked somebody like that. That's honestly... It's pretty smart strategy if you really think about it, and it probably cost them literally nothing.
You literally cannot make this shit up, man. And yeah, please guys, watch out for this. If you ever get a suspicious email from the owner of a YouTube prank channel asking you to go around slapping people, you know, it's not 20...
I wouldn't be surprised if FouseyTube was literally working with the North Korean government. That would be the least shocking thing that has ever occurred.
2015 anymore. Chances are it's the North Korean government, so just watch out for that, guys. But to be fair, I might consider doing something like this if I was being repaid in Taedong gang. Like, bro, I don't care if I gotta sail from China to Taiwan and plant a communist flag, I'll do it. And maybe then I can amend this section.
Chinese man appears to sail to Taiwan and back in rubber dinghy.
If the DPRK can prove to me that they actually created hangover-free alcohol.
North Korea says it has invented hangover-free alcohol. I'm sure North Korea says a lot of things. I'm sure North Korea has invented the fountain of youth out of their alcohol too.
Like they claim. North Korea can get an honorary dub in the future. All you gotta do is hit my line, Kim. Send me a DM, bro. Right now.
This is random, but I just read that the single Steam account in North Korea just recently closed that account. There was one user in North Korea for years, and everyone speculated that was Kim Jong-un, obviously. Well, just recently, like a week or two ago, that single North Korean account closed. It got deleted or whatever. They closed their own account or maybe Steamed. I don't really know what happened to it, but it vanished. Very, very sad. I think Kim Jong-un if it is him, he's just too old for Steam games. He's, trying to destroy the world or anything like that. He doesn't have time to play the Steam games anymore. Fun fact before we get into this, that reminds me how I did get one North Korean view back in like 2017. There was a single viewer out of North Korea. Now they don't have data out of North Korea anymore, but back in those days, the metrics would show you like a world map and where you would get views from. And I had a single view from North Korea. I'm hoping that was Kim Jong-un. I hope he knows I exist.
Let me know to it. Right, our second category shootout is London embassies.
London embassies.
Now, despite China's current plans to build a mega embassy in Europe's biggest city, London, their current embassy really isn't much to brag about. Basically, they've wanted to update it for ages. It's actually been in the same spot since the
London mission was China's first permanent overseas diplomatic mission. It has served as a diplomatic mission, of the Manchu Qing Empire. That's crazy. Since the Opium War days.
Fucking Qing Empire in 1877, making its physical legacy about as old as Canada. So yeah, for a while they've wanted to give the UK hella money to build a gigantic new embassy near the Royal Mint. But
like, what a great flex for China. Imagine like just building a freaking giant tower made of diamonds, basically, with their diamond pickaxes, just to flex on the Brits.
Obviously, the leaders of the UK, as per usual, don't want to earn money. Yeah, for those who don't know,
China's mega spy-based London embassy leaves Starmer risking row with Trump.
Not earning any money at all has been our key political strategy for the last decade or so.
That's so funny. Not earning any money at all. I gotta say, I don't know a whole lot about the British government, but it does feel like that over there. Sometimes it does feel. I think I just read recently per capita, our poorest U.S. state, Mississippi, just passed up the UK per capita on a per capita basis.
Therefore, China haven't been allowed to update their embassy and are stuck with this bullshit. Whilst, for example, Australia gets this colossal fucking palace. Like, bro, what do they even do in that embassy, bro? Haggle over the price of beer and Lebanese food in Clapham or something? Alright, bro.
That's hilarious. I mean, I guess it would make a little bit of sense that the Australians would have a giant embassy inside of London because, they had a historical connection for so long there. But I mean, yeah, I think it would be politically chaotic to allow China to build the biggest embassy in all of London.
Bro, just wait till I show you North Korea's London embassy, though. We're talking luxury, prime real estate, $1 billion.
I see the money.
Yeah, so like, obviously,
it's like literally just a house.
I know a lot of middle to lower class people that live in the UK. I know some students in London that live in kind of shitty accommodation. And maybe you go over to their house to hang out, have a cuppa when you're in town. This is where they live, bro. This is their house.
That's crazy.
This is their crib.
That literally looks like a regular house. It looks like they would be throwing lit house parties in there, though. Imagine having a lit house party in the embassy of North Korea, London. There's like a North Korean flag flying out there, just like blasting Mo Bamba.
So not only is this shit in West London, it's in fucking Acton. You know what's in Acton? Nothing apart from knife crime and fabric shops.
I thought that was South London. I thought South London is where all that crime happened. But been in London twice. Can't say I have been to the North Korean embassy building, but now I definitely want to, especially if they invite me inside. That would be cool.
London North Korean embassy, depending on the time you leave, is closer to fucking Reading than Canary Wharf. And look, I gotta respect the underdog. I gotta respect someone trying to make it out the hood. Yeah. Also, I don't know if any of you have seen this North Korean propaganda girl on social media.
Nice to see you again. I'm Song In from Pyongyang. I'm 11 years old and 5th year in the primary school.
I thought they were going to talk about the other the defector that always says like the most ridiculous things about North Korea. Like in North Korea, we eat snails every day or something like that because there's no food or something like that. But this is a different North Korean girl, propaganda girl.
Can you guess where I am right now? Everything is under control as it used to be, and everyone is just fine. There goes the bell. I gotta go.
She speaks really good English.
Look at the flowers, then cheer up. Pyongyang, where I live, is a very beautiful and magnificent city. Have you ever been to Pyongyang? Well, if you come here, you'll be totally surprised because literally wherever you go, there are amusement parks.
But notice how she kind of has a posh British accent? That's because she's the daughter of the vice foreign minister of the DPRK and spent some of her childhood living inside of this building we've been talking about. So,
oh, that's crazy. Yeah, she has a perfect kind of British accent, or at least she speaks perfect English.
Just for the sake of lore, and also just how funny it is that some guy probably called Darren has the North Korean embassy as his neighbor.
Imagine being neighbors with the North Korean embassy. That would be so lit. I would be trying to throw house parties every day just next to them, trying to invite them over. Like, bro, invite your boy Kim, bring over some of that beer.
They're gonna take the dub here. North Korea, 1 point up. And if I talk about embassies for any longer,
I agree with them that if I had to choose an embassy, it's got to be that North Korean embassy. It's very quiet and quaint, but it looks like it'd be a fun time. The Chinese embassy just looked kind of boring.
Swear they're gonna give me the Saudi treatment. So let's instead talk about
careful.
Dennis Rodman co-signed.
Rodman. I love Rodman. I've been obsessed with Rodman, well, I guess my entire life, because when I was a kid, I used to watch the Chicago Bulls and him play, but just the most fascinating human being, one of the most fascinating human beings.
Hey, North Korea 1, China 0. Sorry, guys. Another point up for North Korea. Yo, I got a quick...
I think it's been a minute since Rodman has come back to North Korea, though. He hasn't been there for a minute. I'm surprised Trump hasn't made him, like, the diplomat to North Korea. For a while there, he probably knew more about North Korea than... This is going to sound crazy. He was, like, in maybe the top 10 most knowledgeable people about North Korea in the entire American population. I would say something crazy like that.
A little unofficial bonus round for you guys right now. Languages. Now in North Korea, they basically just speak old-fashioned Korean, which makes sense. I mean, just imagine if in the year 1945, England split into two, one half remaining socially almost exactly the same for 70 years, being closed off from the world's development in how we speak, and the other side developing alongside and very connected with the West. It would be crazy. Northerners would still be saying shit like gobbledygook or fuddy-duddy or hidey-ho, etc. So basically 26 million North Koreans speak.
Yeah, I heard that South Koreans can spot a North Korean, like, person that escaped North Korea, like, instantly. Like, all the North Koreans that did, in fact, make it to Seoul or somehow, unbelievably, they're very easy to spot. And they're obviously, there is like a big language barrier. I mean, not a barrier, but they do speak differently.
The Korean equivalent of Winston Churchill's English.
I mean, it's really not that surprising if you, like, walled off the South right now for the next 75 years. Someone from, like, Alabama, which I was born in Alabama, that would sound insane. That would say, I mean, you could spot the people from a mile away.
That is what we're going to try to do. That is the result of his
I mean, is this just because Churchill was an alcoholic, though? I'm pretty sure that's just due to alcoholism.
Whereas if we look over to China, where 71% of people speak Mandarin, we therefore by far have the most spoken language on Earth. 900 million people speaking the same.
In terms of, like, first language, Mandarin is killing it. But once you include, like, first and second language, apparently English has more population, more speakers.
Fucking language. That's 3 times the amount of Spanish or English speakers. Absolutely.
Yes. That's first language right here is what we're talking about.
Absolutely insane. Which is why maybe you should consider learning Mandarin like me. And that, my friend, is where italki comes in.
The italki ad. I've been meaning to check out italki actually for a while. China is... Learning Mandarin is, like, definitely top... I would say it's top 2. Top 3 most important languages you could learn. Mandarin is a very good one. I chose to go Spanish because it has there's way more countries that speak Spanish, whereas, like, Mandarin is just China. If you're not specifically going to China, you're not going to be able to find that anywhere else. But with Spanish, I enjoyed it because it's like I can go to Mexico, I can go all the way down to Argentina and Chile, I can go to Spain, I can technically go to Equatorial Guinea and Africa, and they'll speak Spanish too.
But we got robberies.
Well, North Korea is technically going to win this because I'm pretty sure North Korea is super safe.
Now, the dedicated subscribers of this channel, which, by the way, you could become right now with one tap of your mouse pad or your phone screen. Anyway, you motherfuckers know I'm Swedish, which means I hold some serious...
All the Diddy in this video is crazy.
...animosity in my heart when the words North Korea and robberies are included.
That's so funny. We're going to get into the Volvos, aren't we? Sweden sold North Korea like 1,000 Volvos, and then they just never paid for them. And still to this day, they just don't pay. Imagine going to Pyongyang and seeing one of these original 1970s Volvos. That's like literally. There's got to be one of them that's still around.
In the same sentence. Do you know what these damn Koreans did to my people? Do you know? Well, let me read to you what in Sweden we call a saga. 50 years ago.
Honestly, Sweden, I've said it before. That's on y'all. Y'all should have. I don't know what y'all were thinking selling these Volvos. Of course, North Korea was gonna dupe you. That's on you guys.
The North Korean regime committed the largest car robbery in human history against the Swedish government. Not a joke. I'm being 100% serious. That's right. Following World War II.
The story of the largest car theft in history. North Korea is the culprit of the largest car theft in history. World's largest car theft.
Sweden
done
was
by
pumping
government.
out lots of very reliable, well-built cars. Volvo, Saab. This is because their economy and their factories weren't blown to smithereens like the rest of Europe for no particular reason.
Sweden during World War II. It probably also, we were just learning about, Sweden was also very close. They're virtually a nuclear country. They can build a nuke at any point. And you just wouldn't expect that. They got so much further than a lot of other places at the same time when it came to building a nuke.
Of course, anyway, around this time, Volvo wanted to expand into Asia and set their sights on North Korea.
Bro.
Sweden became the first Western country to set up an embassy.
Under the Swedish prime minister, who had some of the craziest link-ups in Swedish history, out here smoking some shit with Fidel Castro, man. So he was not scared at all to be working with the communists at this time.
Embassy here, they were like, it's an untapped market, plus we kind of fuck with the whole leftist vibe they got going on. Shortly after this, massive trade contracts were signed, part of which included the sale of 1,000 Volvo 144s to North Korea. Kim Il-sung said he liked the rigid design.
That's the OG, too. It was the OG Korean leader back in the day. The Kim Jong-un's, I think it's his grandpa.
And the European look and the famed reliability. A bit like our beer. Just to clarify, not Swedish beer, European beer. So the 1,000 Volvos were shipped and Sweden never ever heard anything back. Volvo tried it.
That's so funny. The laughing cat.
Again and again to get the money, even just a letter, just one last phone call, one last text confirming the breakup, any communication, please, any reply.
It's actually kind of hilarious, like still to this day. I wonder if it was worth it. Honestly, was it worth it, North Korea? Because still to this day, I think we're over 50 years now since this happened. I think it was like, wasn't it 1977 or something? Still to this day, the Swedes know about this. It's still very much in their head. It's still floating above North Korean and Swedish diplomacy. Like, I get that 1,000 Volvos must have been nice for free, but this still haunts the North Korean government to this day.
But Kim Il-sung had already moved on, hanging out with all the cool new players like China and East Germany, refusing to even acknowledge poor Sweden's existence. And to this day, the Swedish government and Volvo never forgot. Once every 2 years.
Every few years, the Swedish government sends North Korea an invoice for the unpaid debt, which has now ballooned to over... Oh, are they going to adjust for inflation?
As they ask Pyongyang to pay off the debt, which today, due to inflation, is roughly $314 million. This is the most debt North Korea owes to any country in the world.
That approximately 2.2 billion Swedish, krono, followed, I should remember that because I was in Sweden, but it was like 7 years ago, followed by then Russia, Hungary, the Czech Republic, and Iran.
Oh. North Korea owe the most debt, not to China, not the...
Honestly, they flew too close to the sun. That guy was doing some crazy link-ups with Fidel Castro and other leftist governments, and he flew too close to the sun. And he ran into the wrong leftists that was just about to steal 1,000 Volvos.
The US, not anyone important. Fucking Sweden, just over some Volvos, man. Best of all, they can still be seen driving around the DP.
That's hilarious that they're still there today. Okay, so they are, in fact, because I've seen a lot of vlogs of people visiting Pyongyang, and you will see some of the cars on the street. It does look like, you know, there's some really old ones out there. I don't know. Can we confirm these are a part of the original? I guess we probably can, because why else would there be more Volvos in North Korea? Unless they're smuggling them in. But, like, if you see a 70s Volvo, that's got to be a part of the original 1,000, right?
PRK now and then today. Most reliable cars on Earth, man, I'm telling you.
That is really reliable. I guess it shouldn't be surprising. We were just talking about Fidel Castro, Cuba. You know, you can still see all those 1950s American vehicles driven throughout Havana. Obviously, probably not with the same internals. They've probably have really, you know, I don't know about updated engines. They're not probably like beefed out or anything like that, but they probably slapped a whole new inside. The bodies are still the same though. Why Pyongyang low-key looks like Stockholm.
Swedish engineering, man. And yes, despite all this, we still have weirdly close ties to North Korea.
Sweden's embassy doing yoga in Pyongyang. Wow. I mean, they gotta try to make up for it. Like, the North Korean government's like, hey, you know, thanks for giving us 1,000 Volvos. I guess Swedish people can come on over if they want to visit.
For example, Sweden is one of the few countries to, in 2025, have an embassy in Pyongyang.
In September 2024,
few countries to, in 2025, have an
Swedish diplomats have returned to the embassy. This made Sweden the first Western country to resume regular diplomatic operations in North Korea since the pandemic. Sweden is very good at that. Sweden, kind of like Switzerland, can play kind of a neutral side. They love playing both sides, so they can always come out on top.
Embassy in Pyongyang, an embassy that exists to do all of the USA's...
Due to there being no American embassy or consulate in North Korea, pretty much every bit of U.S.-North Korean diplomacy goes through the Swedish embassy. Officially, the U.S. is protecting power in North Korea.
Hard work for them as a neutral third party. Oh, and also in order to pass...
I wonder if they're going to meet up again. I know that's definitely been talked about. I know that they've definitely in the past discussed Kim Jong-un coming to America this time, which would be crazy. I think it was crazier to see Trump step over to the North Korean side, though. Imagine they just abducted him.
Massive aggressively tweet.
Sweden in Pyongyang, the embassy of Sweden in Pyongyang. Imagine being that diplomat. That must be a fun time. Get to go out there in Pyongyang, do a little bit of yoga.
About Volvo sightings in the city. Still going strong. One of Volvos from year 1974. Still unpaid for by DPRK. Running as taxi in Chongjin with almost 500,000 kilometers on the odometer. Still unpaid for.
I don't give a fuck about me and you. You say your wife's name one more time, I'm gonna delete.
Honestly, though, Sweden does deserve a lot of credit. The fact that that thing is still going, man. Swedish engineering, it's crazy. They must have built those cars. I mean, IKEA. We should have. They do some crazy. As long as you could read Swedish.
All that motherfucking money.
Okay, well then surely China can't pull off such a equally insane heist. How could China possibly top this? What have
China has had their very own. I don't know about that good or epic of a heist, but they've definitely done their own heists for sure.
I know robbed exactly.
That's what you mean.
Yeah. Fair point.
Yeah.
Now mega
Tibet,
projects.
East Turkestan, is that what that's called over there? And then like the outer Mongolia.
Look, this one's going to be hard. This one's going to be close. This one's going to be a close call, I think. Because for China, we're talking north-south water transfer projects, redirecting.
I feel like China should win, but this is reminding me of the giant statue that a North Korean company built in Africa. What is it called again? But there's this giant bronze statue that looks really epic. It's like this giant buff dude with his like son or daughter and then his wife. And it's like a huge statue and it was built by... It has, like, you can kind of feel the communist North Korean influence in this statue.
12 trillion gallons of water over more than 1,000 kilometers. The Three Gorges Dam, which affects the flow of water so drastically that it legitimately slows down the Earth's fucking rotation. And look,
that's
even
so crazy. I mean, should we be surprised? Literally, the Chinese civilization was built around basically the Yellow River constantly shifting hundreds of kilometers. They had to dam that sucker up. Once they did that, China became unstoppable. They were just, once they figured out how to control the Yellow Sea, they were able to stabilize and stop having thousands of civil wars where millions of Chinese people perish every once in a while, every blue moon, basically.
The Great Wall of China drastically affected the entire world's course of history. And then we have a look over at the great rival.
That's true. China has been building mega projects for centuries now with the Great Wall of China. That's what they do over there. They just build incredible things.
North Korea. We're talking 1,000 foot tall pyramid skyscrapers. One of history's largest hotels, which potentially may or may not have never received received a single visitor and had its 3 grand openings cancelled due to the elevator shafts being low-key crooked and the country not even having access to enough raw materials to complete anything aside from the foundations and a cool LED panel. Man, fuck Gorbachev, bro.
1992, after the building had reached its full architectural height, work was halted due to the economic crisis in North Korea following the collapse of the Soviet Union. Oh, yeah, that was rough for North Korea. I don't know exactly, like, on par how close the North Koreans stayed to the South Koreans in terms of economic development, but it definitely wasn't that bad, like, 50 years ago in the 70s. Like, North Korea really fell behind, obviously, after the Soviet Union collapsed.
All my homies hate Gorbachev. Imagine how...
For real. There's still so many people that hate Gorbachev.
Sick it would have been to knock back a pint of Taedong in the revolving penthouse suite of a communist megalithic pyramid. We could have had it.
He's right. He is 100% right. Is Speed going to North Korea? He's got to figure out a way to make it over there. Speedy either needs to go to North Korea or Iran. One of those two.
So good, bro. We could have had it so fucking good. Yeah, the only real mega project...
I could see him going to Iran, unironically. North Korea is going to be a little bit harder because he's an American, but Americans do make it over to Iran. It's maybe possible.
North Korea has completed to its full extent is their stadium, which, fair play to them, it is the biggest stadium on planet Earth with a seated capacity of 150,000 people. It's extremely unlikely this place has ever been full. Either way.
Yeah, they did do, I think it was like 20 or 25 years ago, they held like the largest wrestling event, like it wasn't WWE, but something like WWE wrestling event in history there. Supposedly over 1 million people in attendance. I don't know if it was 1 million, but yeah, there's all sorts of wrestlers. There's a great documentary about it. I can't remember what it's called right now, but yes.
Stadiums don't really impress.
It was in this stadium, I believe.
It's me, I can't lie. I actually went to what was previously the world's biggest stadium in Prague, Straov Stadium. It kind of had some North Korea vibes, low-key, because it's now completely abandoned. And I didn't go there for anything sports or history related. No, I went there to go to a rave.
Proof, LOL. Proof, LOL. Oh, man. Okay.
Did a low history related? No, I went there to go to a...
This was taken at 7 a.m. The rave was under these seats. What? That sounds really lit, not gonna lie.
A rave. And I did a low off in the locker room of Straov Stadium when with my good friend Gatsu. So basically...
Well, it's a rave. I mean, that's what's gonna go down there.
What I'm saying is Chinese mega projects.
Below standard Chinese city in 2020. Oh, below standard Chinese city.
A bit more impressive than North Korea.
That's literally Shenzhen. I went to Shenzhen and it was very, very fancy. I really liked it. That's known as like the Silicon Valley of China.
So another point up for China taking the lead now.
Is that a little mini North Korea? Like Kim Jong-un?
So another point up for China.
Literally a mini-me Kim Jong-un. I think he's probably Chinese though, to be honest.
Taking the lead now by 1 point. Our next category up.
Everyone will feel it. Okay, Iran. Everyone?
There's going to be nuclear weapons.
Nuclear weapons.
Now, in terms of their military actions, I can't really...
To be fair, what North Korea was able to accomplish by building their nuclear weapons was very impressive. China did it like in the 70s, which is pretty good. I mean, they were one of the earliest countries to do it. But North Korea being cut off from the world and still figuring out a way to get it done, that's impressive.
Back either of these countries, man. That's not my mans, you know. Look, both the DPRK and China are out to destroy my homies. Both have threatened to obliterate the Philippines. My boy Wow Mel's from there. Both of these countries, to different extents, arm and do business with Russia, who have attempted...
North Korea soldiers in Ukraine witnessing the wide wonders of the internet
many times and threatened to obliterate Georgia. My boy Gatsu's from there. So it's a tricky one for me, man. Can you imagine the state of the geopolitical meme YouTube scene if either China or North Korea had their way? It would be bleak, bro. However,
I predict at some point the geographical YouTube meme community will probably be at war at some point. I don't know when it will. I don't know when it will happen, and it'll be tomorrow or in 10 years, but I'm sure at some point there's going to be a war because of some political things that happen in real life. It's only a matter of time. Maybe at that point we'll all be politicians, though, so who knows?
I will say one thing. Look at this North Korean nuclear target map.
That's so
bro,
funny.
what the fuck did we do, bro? Why you say fuck me for? What the fuck?
What do you say
now.
fuck
After that
me for?
warship incident in North Korea, whilst obviously
Raging Kim Jong-un arrests 3 after humiliating. Oh, that's right. That just recently happened. It like collapsed. A bunch of damage happened when it launched into the ocean.
definitely, and come on now, after that warship incident in North Korea, whilst obviously definitely 100% being an act of sabotage and criminal,
because North Korea would never do anything wrong. It definitely was an act of sabotage. That's the only way they make mistakes.
negligence. All I'll say is the DPRK lost a bit of aura for me right there. And on the other hand, the Chinese guys sailing all the way to Taiwan just to plant a CCP flag increased China's aura for me a bit right there. So taking recent
So funny. That's so funny he did this. He's the first one to do it. This man might go down to the history books if China actually does officially do that. That was the craziest thing about in China. I mean, it wasn't that crazy. Obviously, they were going to do this. But every single map or globe I saw in China, even in Hong Kong, would be China owning Taiwan. Like that, Taiwan did not exist in the eyes of the Chinese people or Chinese maps or Chinese globe. Again, that's not shocking at all. But I just thought that was funny as an American, because just like, oh yeah, of course they would do that.
news into account, it's going to be another point up for China. The next category up is metro systems.
World of T-shirts? Is that him licking
Now, like many similar countries in North Korea, trains are generally the way to get around. Even
Kim Jong-un's train being wiped clean on his arrival.
being Kim Jong-un himself.
That's literally the state of California, my home state, cleaning up San Francisco before the leader of China comes. They don't give a crap 99% of the time, but oh, Xi Jinping is coming over? Time to finally clean up these streets for like a week, and then after he leaves, all right, go ahead and make this MFer dirty again.
Self's transport method of
You know North Korea, me and you, me in terms of California, me in California and you, not so different.
choice, which I heavily respect. As you all know, I really love a good train. Air travel around a DPRK is very weird. Just look at the airport, you can tell no one uses it. Apparently, when you fly over North Korea,
That's beautiful. Everyone talk about airport theory, that you can arrive at the airport 15 minutes before boarding and you will get through. Imagine a North Korean airport. You could arrive 30 seconds before boarding. You'll be fine. Is there even security? I don't even think this thing got security.
have to close your windows. It's crazy. Basically, if you're able to get
Wait, what?
Korea, you have to close your window. No one uses it. Apparently, when you fly over North Korea, you have to close your windows.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Basically,
I heard about that in certain parts of Afghanistan too, maybe still. If you're flying over Afghanistan or stuff. Yeah, that's probably all around.
if you're able to get around, you're going to be using trains. However, obviously China is going to clear literally any other country, maybe with the exception of Japan, when it comes to trains, as I've previously explained. So let's instead focus on the metro systems. Now, China, yeah, it's all modern and efficient and clean and on time and perfect, but bro, just consider the aura of the Pyongyang
Tell me this ain't any inconceivably large amount of drip.
metro system real quick. I love these
The old schoolness, the retroness of it, it looks pretty cool.
communist metro system so much, man. Pyongyang's metro reminds me so much of Tbilisi's metro. Even the
Georgia, yeah. I mean, obviously it's going to have similar, former communist vibes. Like Eastern Europe might be able to relate to some of these metros. I mean, they both were probably built around the same time, all under the communist world back in those days.
cars look identical.
Hey, yo, why the f does a metro in Pyongyang look better than the metro in the hood I grew up in? This shit looks like a fucking coal mine, and they haven't fixed it for the past 7 years. Hell nah, bro. My government is so bad.
Damn.
North Korea
What
cares more
footage?
about their people than the Georgian government. Genuinely, look at this shit. Their metro looks objectively very good, and in Tbilisi, my old station has had no fucking roof for the last 7 years.
That literally looks so insane. That looks like the craziest station.
The mystery surrounding these underground tunnels, they're hardly ever exposed to the outside world. The little double Kims up in the train
The
car,
little
how
double
deep
Kims.
in the fucking
Where's the third one? Oh, sorry. You can't put Kim Jong-un up there, I'm guessing, until he dies.
side world. The little double Kims up
Yeah.
in the train car, how deep in the fucking bedrock this all is, how it doubles as a nuclear bunker. It's just
That's so
amazing
crazy.
to me, man. So it's gonna be another point for North Korea, and I'm not gonna lie, I think I calculated this a bit wrong, so I'm gonna give them 2 points for this, meaning we're at a draw now, which means this last round is gonna be a tiebreaker. And what better category to determine our final decision than food?
I literally started this video off talking about food. I mean, dang, that Chinese food was so good. I don't know what they got in North Korea. Specifically, I mean, I know about Korean food. I like Korean food, but that's from the South. They might do something completely different in the North. Eating grass up there. Damn.
I don't know. It's a hard choice, man. But look, unfortunately...
Yeah, that's kind of the joke I was making with the grass joke. I did not eat any of these squids. I was too afraid to. I did eat something weird in China, but I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. It's a hard choice, man. But look, unfortunately, petrol clams just...
North Korean gasoline roasted clams. Wow.
Aren't really to my taste. But you want to know what does taste good? Social credit scores. Yeah, thank you, guys. That's right. Once again, we got China taking the W. And yes, for everyone asking... The luxury Chengdu penthouse is treating me well. You might be able to hear it in my voice. I've gone through approximately 8,457 packs of Chonghwas, 5,076 cans of Tsingtao, and 10,780 morning push-ups with the local elderly population. I've never felt better. And if you want to show your support for this lifestyle I'm living, please go hit that subscribe button, maybe that like button, maybe the notification button.
It's funny that we're doing this video because I actually got an email maybe like 2 weeks after I went to China. From China, they were doing influencer tours, basically, like speed change China so much single-handedly that I started getting... I'm pretty sure it wasn't a scam either. This one looked really real. I get a lot of scam emails, but this one looked pretty real. I guess I should just search on YouTube online of people like influencers visiting China. But yeah, they offered to basically take me... you know, like for free for like a week. I vlogged the experience. They take us all over different parts of China. It was pretty crazy. And that's just, I guess, what the Chinese government's doing right now, which is actually pretty smart. If you are trying to change the American public or just the West's mind about China, going through the influencers is probably the smartest thing because you can get to the youth a lot easier. Obviously, at least in America, like America establishment media is not going to be wanting to do any pieces on China, but definitely some like dude in his room that's getting paid like, I don't know, $2,000 a month by being an influencer, he'll be down to go to China. Maybe even a share button.
Or I'm not making any threats, but there could be some bad repercussions coming your way from the Chinese government. Zaiqian.
Yes, that's right. And that was a really good, as always, great, beautifully edited video. Again, that was by Geopold. You heard the man. Definitely go subscribe. These are the patrons for this month. If you'd like to join, check that link down below to patreon.com. If Greenland is the largest island, then Australia is its own continent again, right? Drew Supremacy League. Drew's Argentinian Trust Fund. Rip Grandpa. Connor Pavlik. Carmel S. Douche Baggins. Alexander the Terrible. Frederick King. Tiblin. Bear Hayes. Luxembourg Lover. Miglu the Goat. Nord Tyrol. And Tambrin.